Here is a Duracraft Twindow dual window fan. It is the Duracraft DW-628 white window fan. Duracraft, ideas built to last. At the time, Duracraft backed that statement with a 10-year warranty, which was quite a bit for I don't want to say basic window fan, because this was more of a higher end model, but Duracraft was not an outrageously expensive brand. It's a pretty typical consumer grade product. Holmes, on the other hand, typically backed this type of fan with a 3-year warranty, and Honeywell, some of the models came up to a 5-year warranty. I think that was the most that was offered. So to get a 10-year warranty on this was pretty good for this this product category. Definitely well above industry average. Now, Duracraft certainly works this thing up quite a bit on the box. There's no lies on the box per se, but there's things that just, I don't know, they're a little ridiculous. 48 possible speed settings for total comfort. So I guess that's you'd have to go through to verify this to check all the permutations. So for instance, you have, one could be on super input, the other could be on low, medium, high, in, out, etc. And then I guess you can make 48 combinations. These really are not powerful enough that you're going to need 48 different combinations to reach maximum comfort. That's just the gimmick. And then it says bonus value, snap-on feet included for easy conversion to a table or floor fan. I wonder if those feet will actually be inside this box. Oh, sorry, this box! I don't know if this is used or new. I've never opened it. We're going to open it for the first time here on camera. These are very good fans when it comes to this product category. Definitely a lot better than the Holmes models in terms of noise level. The Holmes ones seemed to be of decent quality at the time this was sold, but the noise is just outrageous. If I had to guess, I would say this probably sold somewhere between $50 and $60. I don't know if there's a date on here anywhere. There's a sticker that says thank you, so I guess that would have been put on by the store when it was purchased. And there's the 10-year limited warranty terms. It says, and of course there is a catch, 10-year limited warranty terms and conditions. Let's see here. I would say that you can pause the video and read it for yourself, and I'll just quickly look over it. But by the time I quickly look over it, it probably would take me more time to just read it word for word than it would to summarize it. So I'll just read it word for word, and if you don't like this part of the video, just skip it. This warranty applies to repair or replacement of product found to be defective in material or workmanship. This warranty does not apply to damage resulting from commercial, abusive, or unreasonable use or supplemental damage. You should first read the instruction manual before attempting to use this product. Duracraft is not liable for incidental or consequential damages of any nature. This limitation does not apply to you if you live in those states that do not permit the exclusion or limitation of incidental or consequential damages. This warranty applies only to the original purchase of this product. Duracraft will repair or replace this product if it is found to be defective in material or workmanship. Defective product should be returned to place of purchase in accordance with the store policy. Thereafter, while within the warranty period, any place of purchase in accordance with the... I think I just lost my place. Thereafter, while within the warranty period, any defective product should be returned to Duracraft. That's kind of confusing. Defective products should be returned to place of purchase. And then after that, if it's defective again, then you return it to Duracraft. This warranty does not cover damage resulting from unauthorized attempts to repair or from any use not in accordance with its manual. Return defective product to Duracraft, freight prepaid with proof of purchase and $15 for handling, return packing, and shipping charges. So the warranty is not the greatest, because by the time you pay to ship this thing, plus the $15, which if this is 20 years old, that's like paying probably $30 or $35 now. You're probably close to the cost of a new unit. So I'd be willing to bet that hardly anybody ever took advantage of that warranty because it's kind of worthless. And I think that's the case with a lot of warranties on stuff today, especially ones when it comes to stuff like this where the warranty is much longer than you would expect or much longer than typical. Is there a copyright date on here? No, I'm hoping there will be a date on the fan. Oh, there's a date over here. It says copyright 1993. So this is potentially even older than I thought, and that $15 is worth even more. Engineered to last! Backed by our 10-year limited warranty. Independent motors for maximum comfort control. Duracraft fits all window types. Okay, that's a flat out lie because it definitely well, it's showing it right there in a crank out window, but I mean, how the heck do you secure it? Sure, it could physically fit. You could fit an oscillating fan in the window, but this doesn't mean it's going to fit practically. The heck kind of window is that? Oh. See, this is why you always have to read the directions before you make claims about the product, and this is also why you should read the description before you watch the video, because sometimes there's disclosures and information that will make a fool out of you if you don't read it first, and that's exactly what just happened here. Inherently, it includes a mounting bracket that will magically secure it into the crank window. I really hope that that's included, because I have no idea what that would look like, and I'm very intrigued by that now. And I would use it too. I'd use it in the front of the house there, where we have those crank windows. Alright, let's open it up and see what we have here. I hope it's not used, because then the stuff is probably there. Nope, it's definitely used, so the stuff is unlikely to be there. Oh, it might actually be there. Oh, it's used pretty heavily too. Alright, so inside the box we have a couple of pieces of busted up plastic. Looks like sun damaged plastic. We have the owner's manual, and we have the warranty card. And this, I'm guessing, is the bracket. And here's the feet for tabletop or for use. Alright, so that's cool. So it is used, but everything is there. There's definitely some plastic deterioration present. You can see that powdery material where it was sitting inside the box. The box. Gotta make sure it sounds like a farm. Farms are important. If we don't have farms, we're not going to be able to eat anything. Alright, we'll get to that in a minute. I'm going to see if the manual talks about that. This is old paper. This is dated 10 of 94, so it has to be, if this is revised in 94, it can't be any newer than 94. So this is over 30 years old. Huh, that's much older than I thought. Alright, here it's talking about that bracket. It says, so you literally just screw the bracket to the side of the wall. It says that you can get an alternative bracket if the screen doesn't fit free of charge. And you can pause the video to look at this if you so desire. I'm not going to read the whole thing, we'll be here all night. Okay, that should give a good picture of the whole manual. And then this thing asks a whole bunch of invasive personal information, which really should not be required to claim the warranty. There's no reason why Duracraft needs to know if you've purchased clothes through the mail, purchased gifts through the mail, worked in your garden, or traveled on a vacation in the last 6 months to be able to register the product for warranty. That is absolutely ridiculous. Totally ridiculous. And there's no reason that you should have to list your education levels to claim the warranty on the fan. That is totally ridiculous. Totally ridiculous, Duracraft. So I guess it looks like these two screws go on the side of the window, and then, or no, these, yeah, that goes in the window. These other 4 screws, looks like they go into the fan, and then the fan would hang on the screws like that. That's interesting. I don't think so that my windows come out far enough. I would need the alternate bracket because the screen would no longer fit. Well, that's there, but I don't think it's going to be of much use to me. Alright, so this thing is really kind of grimy. The cord in particular is just really grimy. We'll get it cleaned up. It's kind of on the heavy side. I imagine that's all the weight coming out of the motors. And this definitely spent a lot of time in the window. You can see the back is totally yellowed from the sun exposure. I think that the camera's not picking that up very well. It's very obvious in person. There we go, now it's picking up well. Super yellowed on the outside. So this definitely has a lot of use on it. Definitely a couple seasons at least. Off, super, high, low. I remember that these Duracraft fans used to say super instead of high, medium, and low. This is angled slightly. I'm sure it's enough to make a fairly considerable difference. It's angled more steeply on this side than it is on this side. This does not turn very easily though. I guess it only goes one way. It's kind of weird. Is that actually metal? No, it's just plastic. So these probably have Raider motors, I would guess. Can't really tell. Can't see them. I don't know how they get any cooling. The back of the fan is solid, and it's got one of those stupid non-removable clips on there. I don't like those things. Yeah, there's nothing to be seen as far as the motors. We'll have to take it apart to see that. There is a very yellowed sticker here that would have contained the date. Whatever information was on there is now gone. Duracraft Corporation. 1.21 amps. That's a lot of power considering this is likely a PSC product. Have a question? Yeah, why does it use so much power? I can't imagine this has shaded pole motors. Maybe it does, I don't know. We should be able to tell with the power factor. This, I can't quite tell what it goes to. Maybe it goes to the side panels? Oh yeah, that's what it is. It's the accordion. The accordion side panel is just totally gone. This is just, it's totally gone. Nothing left of that. Completely sun damaged. This is a much nicer system to use than the clips that Holmes used. As far as disassembly goes, I think it's better in that respect too. It would have to be. There's nothing worse than those Holmes clips for disassembly. Yeah, both sides are spoiled. We could replace that probably. You can still buy that kind of material for air conditioners. I remember seeing these in Windows years ago. Back in the 2000s, I remember a lot of Duracraft fans around here. Well, let's put these legs on. That'll make it a little bit easier to do the video. I think that they're supposed to slide over, but I don't want to make them difficult to get off just for a test, so I'll leave it like that. Yeah, that's much better than what we usually deal with when it comes to testing window fans on the bench. Try to lower the camera down as much as possible. Still see the fan. Okay. Looks like the fans are, no, that's just an illusion produced by the grate. The fans are centered, you know, like that. Alright, let's go ahead and plug this thing in. We're going to test it at 118.5 volts. It's not a fused plug, too early for that. And let's try it out on low first, on fresh air. Oh, the bearings is locked up. Very, very stiff. That looks to me like dried up oil. That doesn't look like no oil. That looks like gummed up oil to me. Let's see if it takes off after a couple seconds of operation. I'm not going to let it sit like that for any period of time. That's not going to do anybody any good. So that right now is consuming 0.32 the amps, 38.1 the watts. The power factor is 0.98. So it's definitely got PSC motors, and that power factor would lead me to believe the capacitor is still good. So that's just a lot of power for a little 6-inch or 8-inch blades, whatever these are. 8 inches or 20 centimeters. Or 0.2 meters or 200 millimeters, because it's very easy to convert metric and pretty much impossible to convert stupid inches and feet in your head. Alright, this one's starting to take off. That one's getting there. So as you can hear, it's very quiet. Much, much quieter than the stinking Holmes ones were. And this is very dirty, so the performance will improve substantially once it's cleaned. The directional, I turn the ceiling fan off and this heater off because those are both skewing the airflow. The directional thing definitely makes a difference. I'm probably at about maybe a 15-degree angle from the fan, and I can feel the fan on the left, but I feel nothing if I stand right in front of it. And the one on the right I can't feel because it's aiming up to the ceiling. So it does make a difference. If you put this to blow left and right, you know, inside a room, you're definitely going to get a good amount of coverage of airflow. The performance is not impressive, but I'm thinking that's largely because of how dirty it is. For the noise level, it's a reasonable amount of air. And it is worth keeping in mind that this is an 8-inch blade. Or does the blade get up there? Does the blade go to the edge? Yeah, the blade goes all the way to the edge, so it's a whole 20 centimeter 8-inch blade. Whereas the Holmes ones are more of a 6-inch fan. So this is going to move a higher volume of air, even if it feels like the draft is not as strong. Now in some cases, like in my kitchen and dining room where it's a long room, the Holmes is better because you'll feel the stronger stream pushing across the room. This I don't think you'll feel across the room, even if it's moving more air in terms of volume. So on high, that's only 0.46 the amps, 55 the watts, with a power factor of 1 right on the nose. So the capacitor is very good still, and the capacitor is paired nicely with the motor. 0.46 amps is very reasonable and a lot less than the claimed 1.21. I knew that couldn't be right. I don't know where that reading is coming from. That's totally, I mean that's almost 3 times what it actually consumes. Ridiculous. It is also worth noting that it might not be running as fast as it should be due to the bearing situation. The high, which is really a medium, it loses the power to overcome the friction in the bearings. That's 0.38 amps, perhaps more because it's under load, more than it would be usually. 44 the watts with a power factor of 0.98. And low, that is 0.32 amps, 37.6 the watts with a power factor of 0.96. And it's barely moving any air because it's barely turning because of the bearings. So I think we might find that this becomes a lot more powerful once we clean it. A combination of getting the dirt out and a combination of getting the bearings to run properly. Let's see if the thermostat works. It's very difficult to turn. I don't know if it's just pushed on the thing too far or if it needs to be deoxidated or whatever is wrong with it. It's clicking on at about, let's see, in here it's 69 degrees and that clicks on right there. Now even though this is not going to regulate the room's temperature very accurately, this is fantastic. That thermostat is fantastic for spring and fall, at least in this part of the country, where we can get a 75-degree day where you have all the windows open and fans on, or even an 80-degree day, and then you can get a 50-degree night that same day. So to have that thermostat, if you're running fans in the window, excellent. You won't wake up with a freezing house in the morning. Looks like the reverse is working on both. It probably moves less air on reverse because the blades, the shroud is in front of the fan, so when it's running forwards, all the air is getting sucked in from the back and out the front. But since the blades are behind the shroud, When it's on reverse, it's going to pull air in from the sides as well as from the back itself, so it might not be as effective on reverse. In terms of actually drafting air, it feels about the same. Actually, might even feel slightly more powerful. I remember this site. I remember that site well back in the 2000s. I saw a lot of these. Unfortunately, the guard is definitely becoming a little powdery. It's not the worst I've seen. It's generally okay, except for the areas where it's been like scraped. There's a line of it right here. That's a little powdery. It doesn't feel super brittle though. I think it's generally okay still. It's a decent, yeah, it's drawing in a decent amount of air. These don't have a high CFM volume because it's just a very small little area that's moving the air. It's just not, you need a larger surface area to really get a lot of CFM, and this just doesn't have it. None of these stock fans do. On reverse, it's 0.47 the amps, 55.7 the watts with a power factor of 0.99. I would expect it to be the same. These guards make it difficult to get a shot of both blades at the same time. It's a little better. It feels like it's in reasonable balance. I can feel slightly out of balance, but nothing crazy. Usually when it slows down really fast, but it still coasts ever so slowly like it was on the right, that's oil that's gummed up. Could be detergent oil. I doubt that the manufacturer of the motor would have used the wrong type of oil, but it could have been cheap oil that's gummed up over the years. Alright, so this is working. It definitely needs some help. Needs a good cleaning, substantial servicing on the motors, but it's a working product and it's complete. We've got the box, the documents, and the bracket and the feet, so that's pretty cool. This is a good find. I paid for this $14.99 at the OK Will, which is kind of steep for something like a window fan, which to most people this is just an old piece of junk. But I think that these are worth that much. These were really good, and you know, if you have the use case for a unit this size, I think the old metal Marvin ones definitely move more air, but those are obnoxiously loud. This is one of your best options.